Hello everyone, David Lee here. Today I'll be talking about how to better implement design thinking into your current or your next project by providing real-world context and real-world processes. Today I'll be using a second grade project that I helped design and implement as an example to show how design thinking can be implemented more effectively through the use of real-world context and real-world processes, making it more meaningful and relevant. So here's the project. Our second graders created a museum exhibit to demonstrate their understanding of different cultures and perspectives, both from the past and present, and how life changes over time due to the actions of people and the occurrence of events. Use the design thinking method to empathize with museum goers and experts to design exhibits that share information and stories through a physical experience, eventually presenting them at their own second grade museum exhibition. Design thinking is a toolkit used to improve real-world experiences. Therefore, if students are using design thinking, then we need to provide students with learning experiences that have real-world context. A context that gives students an understanding of real-world application of knowledge and skills. It gives students the why, the reason and purpose for learning the content. Take a look at your content standards for your unit. Are there standards in there that would be required in a real-world project? Brainstorm some possible real-world projects, or something that is happening in the school. This could include a context outside of the education setting, or something that is happening in the school. For example, in fourth grade, students were working on a social studies unit on conflict and conflict resolution. The context was that students had to creatively find a solution to a conflict that they are going through or have gone through, where ultimately the parties involved in the conflict have their needs and wants met. So that's the context. Students then use the design thinking method to creatively problem solve and develop a solution to the conflict. This fourth grade example hits the standards of the unit, understanding that conflicts are fueled by people's differing needs and wants, and that understanding others' perspectives can help manage and resolve conflicts, all the while making the use of design thinking more meaningful and relevant through the real-world context. One way to provide real-world context in a project is to actually have students take on the role of professionals. Teachers could develop learning experiences where they think, act, and work just like the real-life professionals who work on this type of project. Taking a look at our second grade project example, students took on the role of a museum exhibit curator/designer. Additionally, providing students with an authentic setting where they can showcase their work develops that real-world context. Ask yourself, where would this professional present their work? If students are taking on the role of entrepreneurs, then they could present their new products or services in a trade show setting. For our museum project, we had students present their exhibits to peers, teachers, administrators, and parents in their own museum exhibition. Another great way to develop real-world context for a project is for teachers to actually research the profession or the project. Researching the profession or the project helps you to learn insights that can improve the authenticity of the project's real-world context and gain learnings about the actual processes and practices that a professional uses to succeed in their work. Research gets you in the mindset of the professional, how this person thinks, works, and solves problems. Ideally, for this museum project, it would have been really nice if we were able to interview a curator or an exhibit designer, but hopefully we could do that next year. However, one resource I found valuable was a YouTube video of Adam Savage, the guy from the popular show Mythbusters, interviewing Emily Shaw, a Smithsonian exhibition designer. This interview revealed some special insights on how she thinks and what she does during her process of creating an exhibit. Information we then use to make the learning and the project more authentic. In the interview, Emily stated that she turns words and ideas into physical experiences that visitors can engage in and help develop the story of the content presented. Going back to strategy number 2, taking on the role of professionals, I basically communicated that information to my students and helped them get into that mindset of that professional to make the learning experiences more authentic. Emily also discussed the steps she takes when creating an exhibit. We make sure to include some of the things she does as a professional into the learning our students experience. To design an exhibit, she needed to ask questions and learn about the content she is presenting. Her statement shows how crucial the inquiry process is for her work, how real-world work involves questioning, observing, and investigating. It was important to integrate the inquiry process within the real-world context for our students, because it provides them with the thought processes to question, observe, and discover new learning required for the completion of the performance task. In the museum project, students had to do the same. They went through the process of asking questions, observing, and investigating about different cultures, historical events, and their impact, the different perspectives of the past and present, and the purpose of a museum exhibit. Learnings needed to design an exhibit that presented information in a clear and engaging way. Emily also stated that she creates small prototype models to show clients and get feedback from them. Smaller prototypes because ideas got developed and changed very quickly. Another insight that we made sure to replicate in the learning experience, we had students get continuous feedback from teachers and students and had them use the information to make improvements to their exhibit designs. Emily also said that she gains inspiration and ideas from different public spaces, not just from other museum spaces. With this in mind, I made sure to showcase for my students some examples of how professionals create physical experiences that convey information, a message, or a story. These insights from the interview helped me to better simulate real-life work for the students, therefore making it more favorable and integrating design thinking authentically. To recap, we used the following strategies to develop and implement a real-world context for the students. Design real-world standards-based performance task. Have students take on the role of professional. Educators researching the profession to guide the design of the learning experience. And finally, provide an authentic setting to present student work. We also incorporated the following processes, practices, and behaviors that professionals use to make the experience more authentic and equip students with what works in the real world. Therefore, we integrated the inquiry process. We had students continuously elicit feedback and make improvements on their designs. And finally, provided them with real-world examples to gain inspiration. These strategies help develop an authentic learning environment by simulating and directly utilizing the behaviors and practices found in real-world successful learning environments, which is what students need to use design thinking in a more meaningful and relevant way. All right, thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to the following educators who participated in developing and implementing the second grade project. Also, if you want to learn more on how to integrate design thinking into your projects, please check out my book, Design Thinking in the Classroom. The link will be in the description below. Also, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Until next time, peace.